This is Industry Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we analyze a different industry. Today, we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about the IT industry. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get informed. Hello, Aluxers, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're talking about the IT industry. We're all immersed in technology and use it every day, both for personal and professional reasons. It's also a major driving force in our economy, with many IT companies employing lots of people or enabling other sectors to thrive as well. The industry is much more than the internet, Facebook, or Snapchat, and since it will continue to grow in the future, you might want to pay special attention to this video. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. So, without further ado, here are 15 things you didn't know about the IT industry. Number 1. Dropbox is the most famous cloud storage service. From keeping our photos safe to switching our favorite shows on Netflix, it's hard to imagine not using a cloud-based service. We've gotten so used to having easy access to everything. Cloud technology uses servers to store your data, and the hosting company owns and manages the physical environment, so you don't have to. Basically, what we're doing is buying the storage capacity from them, and what better example is there than Dropbox? The super popular storage service got its start after an MIT student, Drew Houston, kept forgetting his USB flash drive. He invented something for himself and quickly realized that since the existing solutions at the time simply weren't cutting it, this would be very useful for a larger audience. And he was right. Number 2. Girls are starting to get more into code. There's a pretty big gender gap in IT right now, but things are looking up. In general, the industry has been known for its lack of diversity, which nonprofits such as Girls Who Code are working to solve. They offer immersion programs, specialized programs, and even school clubs that are aimed at girls. The organization also challenges the image of what a programmer should look like or be like, while offering young women the opportunity to gain important coding skills. Award programs such as Women in IT Excellence Awards are also stepping up to recognize women's contributions to the industry. But most of all, they provide a stage for constructing inspiring role models. Number 3. Coding will most likely become compulsory in the future. Coding is a very tangible part of our lives right now. However, not many of us have the ability to make our own software program or app. That's sure to change in the future, though, since it seems like it'll become mandatory for children to start learning computing skills. First of all, it's a known fact that we do need people with these skills, and the jobs pay extremely well. On the other hand, programming isn't just about making stuff for money. It will help children learn reason, logic, and even how to be more creative. Now, wouldn't that make for a better society? Plus, who wouldn't love to design their own app just because they can? Number 4. Silicon Valley is famous due to the IT industry and startups. Technology, innovation, startups. Yes, we're talking about Silicon Valley, the world's most famous center for tech companies, but most of all for its enduring track record of innovation. Apple? Check. Google? Check. Facebook, Netflix, it's all there. However, these are just the bigger and more famous ones, since around 2,000 companies are a part of Silicon Valley. So, what makes the area so special? Well, it could be the closeness to different suppliers, but there's also the magic spell of being in an area that encourages creativity and problem solving. Number 5. The richest man in the industry is Bill Gates, with a net worth of $91.2 billion. Microsoft founder Bill Gates is not only one of the richest men in the world, but also the wealthiest man in the IT industry. He used a computer for the first time in 1967 and found his purpose at an early age, co-founding Microsoft in 1975 with his friend Paul Allen. He's no longer the company's CEO, having resigned 18 years ago, but he's still a member of the board. Nowadays, he's more focused on his charity work, chairing the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which aims to improve the lives of people in need. He's even working with Rotary International, a global charity organization, in order to help eradicate polio. Gates owns just over 1% of Microsoft shares at the moment, yet his net worth is at $91.2 billion. Number 6. Some hackers act like superheroes and are intent to help the poor and expose corruption. It's something that seems like it's taken out of Mr. Robot, yet it's in fact true. Hackers have been known for walking a line between good and bad, usually defying laws and different rules. They are mostly governed by an anti-oppression philosophy of life, taking down censorship and exposing corruption. The international hacktivist organization Anonymous is famous for its cyber attacks on governments and other institutions. Anonymous members hide their faces behind masks, reminiscent of the Guy Fawkes character in V for Vendetta. These digital Robin Hoods protested the shooting of Michael Brown in 2014, helped spread the Occupy Wall Street movement, and targeted child pornography websites among many other actions around the world. Number 7. Volkswagen blames software developers for Dieselgate. Volkswagen was caught red-handed by the United States Environmental Protection Agency in 2015 when it was found that their laboratory emissions testing weren't matching the actual emissions output their cars were causing. A whopping 40% more emissions than claimed. So, how did they explain this? Well, blame it on the software guys. Volkswagen's CEO declared the devices were hacked by a few engineers that went rogue, effectively looking like the company was cheating and launching Dieselgate. Number 8. AI technology sometimes scares us. The future is here, and it might look close to what the movies taught us it will look like. Facebook's experiment is a prime example of humans not understanding how artificial intelligence looks just yet. The engineers created a chatbot which was meant to mimic human behavior, specifically negotiation. The two programs, named Bob and Alice, not only started doing so, but they also started speaking in a language of their own, incomprehensible to their creators. They did eventually switch to English, but it still got spooky enough that Facebook closed the whole thing down soon afterwards. Number 9. Big companies outsource with India, Africa, or Eastern Europe. Sure, places like Silicon Valley are in the US, but there's an overwhelming trend brought on by globalization that connects the world through technology. Outsourcing is by now one of the most common practices in the industry, in which service providers take care of major parts of a business, engineering the product, marketing, human resources, you name it. For example, a US company can function with virtually no employees in the United States, instead having them spread around the world in cheaper places such as India. In India, the outsourcing business is heavily supported by the government through its taxation policies, GDP growth, and so much more. Eastern Europe and Africa are also popular outsourcing regions. Number 10. The most expensive gaming computer is worth $30,000. Gaming is big business, and the industry doesn't shy away from showcasing its pricier products. For example, take the 8-pack Orion X, a device that is especially designed for gaming. The Maker 8-pack is a world-famous computer overclocker, which designs extra-fast systems that use custom components only. It's every gamer's dream, but it doesn't come cheap. The price tag for the Orion X is a staggering $30,000. Want to dig into some more of the world's richest gaming companies? Make sure to watch our video, The Top 10 Richest Gaming Companies in the World 2017, by clicking in the top right corner. Number 11. Dvorak keyboard is actually faster than QWERTY at typing. We've been using standard systems pretty much since the beginning. Take, for example, the QWERTY keyboard, which most people use today. But did you know there's a better, more efficient alternative out there? The Dvorak keyboard was invented by Dr. August Dvorak and has a more user-friendly layout than QWERTY. In fact, 70% of its keystrokes are in the middle row, while QWERTY uses only 30%. This method has been researched for around 10 years, in which Dvorak studied patterns such as the letter frequency in English. This is very important, since the keyboard was designed specifically for the English language. Number 12. The internet is not the same as www or the World Wide Web. This may be obvious for people that love computers, but for the average person, it's good to note the internet is not the same as www. The US Department for Defense is actually responsible for the internet we know and love. The development supported research that eventually led to ARPANET in 1969, which was a network that connected computers at large universities in the country. So it's a big network on interconnected software and hardware parts. On the other hand, the web's job is to transmit data over the internet through a URL, which stands for Uniform Resource Locator. When you type in a URL to your browser, it locates an HTML document, and that is where you can find your favorite content. Number 13. Apple is the world's largest IT company by revenue and total assets, and the world's second largest mobile phone manufacturer. Whether you're a fan or not, you've got to admit it, Apple revolutionized the world through its devices. Although the company had its ups and downs, it's still the largest in the industry and is number 2 in mobile manufacturing. For example, in spite of underwhelming iPhone sales last year, its shares still got over $147 per unit. The company made $217 billion in sales in the last year, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. The company also boasted $331 billion in assets and $88.3 billion in revenue. Number 14. Google has one of the most used web browsers in the world. There's a pretty high chance you're using Google Chrome right now to watch this video. How do we know? Well, don't worry about it, we're not tracking, just guessing. Chrome just happens to be the world's favorite browser, according to StatCounter, a web analytics platform. Their data tracked users' browser's preference between 2016 and 17, when the numbers showed a 55% usage. The stats show 63% as of this February, and it seems the system is competing for different devices. Number 15. It's difficult to say who invented the first computer. The computer was not spontaneously invented overnight. In fact, it took many years of evolution, from first attempts at something resembling a proto-computer in the 19th century to what we have now. That's why it's hard to pinpoint exactly what moment in which it was invented. Konrad Zuse is credited with creating what is called electromechanical binary programmable computer, called the Z1, in 1938. However, portable computers were invented much later in 1981 by Adam Osborne. The Osborne 1 was nothing like your typical laptop since it was way heavier, 24.5 pounds to be exact, had a 5-inch display and only 64 kilobytes of memory. All in all, it was also very expensive for that time, at $1,795. And that's it for today, Aluxers. We hope you enjoyed learning some more about the IT industry. Now, before you leave, we're curious. Do you think coding is the #1 skill of the 21st century? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.